Hey, what's up everyone? Ralph here. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 7 habits that will help improve your life, right? So without wasting time, let's get into it. So the first thing is regular exercise, right? So if you plan on improving your life, then it's going to be important that you need to make sure you have a good mood. You need to make sure your energy levels are up. You need to make sure your overall well-being is intact. And the best way to do that is through exercise, right? Now, I know for a lot of people, you work 8-hour shift, you work at your job, so it can be a little bit tiring. Like to say, you know what, I just did 8-9 hours, and then now going to the gym is a little bit tiring, right? And I understand that, but we've all been there. But obviously, we need to do that. So what you want to start doing is right, the night before, pack up your gym bag, right? Put it in your car. Make sure when you go out to work, make sure to put it in your car. Now, obviously, like once you're done with work, you don't have to go to the gym right away. Just go back home, but make sure you get into the habit of packing your gym clothes, and then make sure you put it in the car. Then once you start getting used to doing that, then you want to start saying, you know what? All right, after you pack your gym clothes, your bag, put it in the car. Then after work, you want to start making that move to the gym. Now, you can start off with once a week, right? Start off going once a week. Bang out like an hour, and then once you get into the habit of that, move that up to like two days a week. And then 3 days, 4, then hopefully 5. Like for me, I do 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. But I've been doing this for a long time, so it's easy for me. But for someone that's just getting started, you know what? Just start with once a week. Get into the habit of that. And once you're comfortable doing that, then you can move that up to like 2, 3, 4, hopefully 5. If you want to do 6, some people do 7. That's crazy, but you can, as long as you can try to get at least 3, that's good. And you don't even have to go to the gym. Like you could do walks, you could do jogs. Like start getting to the habit of doing that. Just get into the habit of just moving your body, getting active, because you don't want to be sedentary all the time. That can lead to all different type of complications and then mental health. So you want to make sure you're getting that body movement, because for a lot of people, some people that struggle with back pain, all different types of aches and pains with their body, it comes from just not being active, right? Your body's just not used to that physical activity. So you want to make sure you're getting used to that, whether it's a walk, whether it's a jog, whether it's lifting weights, whatever it is. Just do something, get that body moving, get it active, because a person that's just not active, you're gonna age very quickly, right? It's just you're gonna see yourself as you get older. You're gonna be like 30 years old, and you're gonna feel 40. You're gonna be 40 feeling like 50. So you want to make sure you keep that body strong, keep that body active, and just get moving. So the next habit is reading, right? Reading is such a powerful thing that everyone should be doing. And this has come from someone that hated reading. Like reading was boring. Like I would find a reading book, I would read a book and it would put me to sleep. But what I learned is that I needed to read books that interest me. Like one of my favorite books is Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? And it spoke to me in different ways that a lot of books didn't, right? When I read that book I was able to blow through that book, and I've read that book multiple times, and it was because it was something I was interested in. Not only that, but it just provided me with so many different ideas. And the thing about reading is that it opens you up to new ideas, right? It broadens your views on life, enhances like critical thinking skills, and it brings about personal growth. And for a lot of people, I think reading, and if let's say you're not someone that even likes to read, right? Use audiobooks, right? Audiobooks is another thing. Like I do both. Like I'll read books, and while I'm at the gym, I'll also read audiobooks. And this is a great way for me to just constantly fill myself with information, things that I'm trying to learn. And for a lot of people, this is what you should be doing, because we all need that personal growth, exposing the new ideas. And a way to do that is, like, let's say you have a certain interest in something. Let's say you're someone that's interested in business. Then you can study business books, right? They have so much information on whatever topic that you like. Let's say you're like into fitness or you're into cooking. There's books you can read on cooking. Let's say you're into like psychology. There's so many books on human psychology that you can read about that interest you. Let's say you're someone that's into fiction. There's plenty of books that can do that. But you should be constantly reading, because it's a great way to open yourself up to new ideas, enhances that critical thinking, critical thinking skills, like being able to say, I think one way, but I'm here I'm reading something that opposes that view, and then you just come up with your own conclusion. So it's very important to make sure that you're reading consistently. Like maybe start with one book a month, and then eventually like move to like 2, depending on how fast a reader you are. But like try to be on a consistent basis where you can shoot for goals on how many books you can read within a year. Reading is such a powerful tool, and even someone for me, reading, I found boring. But once I'm reading books that are engaging, and they're catered to what the things I like, I find it so much interesting, and I don't have trouble reading books like I can read like 2 books a month if depending on the topic. So that's something I like to challenge myself with when it comes to reading, and I think for a lot of people you should be doing the same. So habit number 3 is healthy eating, right? The saying goes is, if you eat like crap, you're gonna look and feel like crap, and that's true, right? If you're someone that's eating junk food all day, trust me, you're not gonna be feeling good during those days. And I know for a lot of people, they think that eating healthy is expensive, but you want to know what else is expensive? Getting diseases, getting sick, and then having to go into the hospital and getting that hospital bill. That can also be an expensive thing, right? You may not see that right away, but you will see that, obviously in the future if you don't take care of yourself. And a great way to do that is healthy eating. I know for a lot of people it's boring, right? Eating healthy is boring, but I mean, look at, like, if you're someone that's thinking about long term, like thinking about your long term health, you want to be able to experience, have experience with friends and family, have good experience with your children or your grandchildren. You got to make sure you're putting the right stuff in your body. And for a lot of people, healthy eating is something a lot of people struggle with, right? Instead of like eating at home and cooking, because of course people are busy, so it's hard to cook at home. But a lot of people, instead of eating at home, preparing their own food, they like to eat out a lot. And the thing about eating out is that you don't have control over what's in the food. So I would encourage you to make sure that you're preparing more foods, eat out less. Try to cook a meal at least 5 days a week, and if you're going to eat out 2 days of the week, then you can do that. But try to reduce as much as possible to eat out. So just make sure you're doing your best to like make sure you're eating the right foods and being consistent. As boring as it may be, that's the best way to make sure that long term you're able to just live a long and healthy life, which is something that we all want to do. Next is prioritizing sleep, right? Now we all know the benefits of making sure that we get a good night's sleep, but obviously we don't practice this on a daily basis for whatever reason, whether we're stressed out, whether we're on the phone on our phones while we're going to bed, or maybe we're watching TV before we go to sleep. Whatever it is, we make sure we struggle with making sure that we get the necessary amount of sleep to be able to be functioning through the day. Because obviously when it comes to sleep, like, having a good night's sleep can help improve concentration, memory, mood, boost immune system. So if you're someone that's getting sick all the time, maybe because you lack sleep. If you're someone that's always angry in a bad mood, that's probably because you lack sleep. Or maybe if you struggle with memory or you just lack concentration, maybe because you're lacking sleep. So you want to make sure that you're getting a good amount of sleep. I mean, people can say anywhere from like up to 6 to 8 hours. Some people get 4 hours, which is crazy. I don't know how people function on that, but like I would shoot for anywhere from like 6 to 8 hours. For me, I get probably like, on average, maybe 6.5 hours, 7 hours of sleep. I would love to get 8, but I guess my body just doesn't operate that way. But I try to get at least anywhere from like 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night. And I feel the difference. Like anything less than that, I feel the difference. So, and I'm sure you probably feel the same way. So you want to make sure you shoot for that. If you're struggling with that, struggling with being able to get a good night's sleep, make sure to stop watching TV like 30 minutes before you go to bed, or maybe just get off the phone, because obviously the blue light can affect your sleep as well. And make sure that you're going to the gym, because that's another good thing. Like making sure you get a good exercise on the day, get a good hour, can help improve your sleep as well. So all these things tying together. So if you're struggling with sleep, make sure you're figuring out why you're struggling with sleep, whether it's watching too much TV, being on the phone, or maybe not getting enough exercise throughout the day, because obviously we know it's important just for overall health. The next habit is learning new skills. Look, we live in an information age, right? Everybody's worried about AI technology taking over our jobs. And as tough as that may seem, these are the realities, right? People talk about not being able to earn enough money, but a good way to make sure that you can combat all of that is making sure you're always learning, making sure you're always acquiring new skills. So depending on whatever job you're doing now, if they find a way to, if AI finds a way to take over your job, or they find a way to automate that, you're at least acquiring new skills to help make sure that if somehow the job that you're doing now is taken away, you can then move on to something else where you can still be able to feed yourself and earn an income. So you want to always be learning new skills. And I know that can be a lot of work, but it doesn't have to be anything crazy, right? Whether whether it's like, marketing, sales, or whatever it is, like make sure you use skills, acquire skills that's going to help you, and make sure that you're protected in terms of when it comes to technology and taking away jobs. So you should always be constantly learning, whatever it is, just constantly learn. Like I said, through reading books, watching YouTube videos, whatever it is, like learn. Don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to grow as an individual, because learning new things is how we develop that personal growth. So make sure you're always making sure that you're continuously learning and developing as a person. So the next habit is cultivating meaningful relationships, right? And look, we're social creatures, right? We're meant to be able to, communicate with other people, socialize with other people. And these days it's hard to do that, especially, with social media. Everybody's like on the multiverse on their cell phones. So it's important that we build that connection, whether it's through friends, families, children, people that we know. It's just we need to make sure that we're constantly being able to connect with people, because it's easy in today's world society to just be isolated, right? Doing our own things, whether through work, especially people working from home. So it can be easy to be isolated and just not communicate with people, which can be like detrimental to like people's like mental health, right? So for a lot of us, we need to make sure that we're constantly staying connected with people. People that are supportive, and want us to do better. You want to be around positive people. So make sure you're always constantly trying to stay connected and be around people. And instead of communicating on certain devices, make sure you're out there talking to real people. And the one of the good things I like, especially when I'm going to the gym, because I work from home, so it can be easy to be isolated, but going to the gym, going out there, it helps when it comes to just connecting, just making sure that you're being social and being around people, because that's something that we're meant to be, and these days it can be hard to do that. So the final habit is daily reflection, right? So one thing I like to do is, like, at the end of the day, I like to like take some time and think at each of the day, and like reflect on like conversations I had with people, or reflect on like things that I was able to accomplish during the day, and I like to reflect on these things and say, all right, how can I improve? Like, I said certain things to so and so. How could I have said it better? How did that person feel? Like, how did I feel when I said that? And I like to reflect on that so I can like improve as a person and be like, all right, how can I become a better person? Like, what was I able to get accomplished? What was I not able to accomplish? And if I wasn't able to accomplish something, what do I have to do the next day to make sure I'm able to accomplish certain goals that I set for myself? So it's important to look back and say, you know what, all right, how can I look at my overall day, and then how can I improve as an individual? Because I think a lot of times we don't have time to reflect. We worked all day. We're busy doing so many things, and then and then when night comes, we go brush our teeth, go to sleep, and then that's it. But instead we don't reflect on like how can we improve as people, improve as individuals? Because how do you get better as a person if you don't look back and look at the things that mistakes that you have made, or things that you could have looked back and said, all right, what did I do wrong here? Like, all right, I had a conversation with so and so. Like, how did that interaction go? And say, you know what, I could have said so and so, and it's a good way to reflect and just sit and learn how and figure out how to improve as a person. So my final thoughts on this, so if you're like me, then obviously improving your life the best way you can is always the optimal, is the ultimate goal. But for whatever reason, let's say that you feel like you're coming up short, and maybe that's due to lack of confidence and making sure that this goal can be accomplished, or maybe you're overwhelmed with what it takes to make it happen. For example, like you have an idea of what that improved life looks like, but you think it will take a lot of work to get there. And yeah, it's gonna take a lot of work, but you just know that you don't have to do it all in one shot, right? It's all about doing the little things every day to reach that goal, right? You don't have to be like, all right, I look at the end goal and say, this is the life I want. Oh, damn, so it's gonna be a lot of work. Don't think of it that way. Just think of doing the little things, like doing the little habits every day, and then eventually it will get you to that goal, right? Making sure you exercising regular, making sure you're eating healthy, make sure you're getting sleep, just making sure that, like I said, you're building relationships with people. It's just doing these little things every day will then eventually help you get to the goal that you want to be. So where you want to end up eventually. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you got any comments or questions, make sure to leave a comment down below, hit the like button and share. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe, all right? So you guys take care and have a good one. Later.